The Kentucky legislature approved sports betting this past session, and the State Horse Racing Commission is preparing to roll out the avenues for it to take place. A national gaming company is working with tracks in Lexington to have a sports wagering facility. Sports betting will also be offered online and at other horse racing facilities throughout Kentucky. WIMT's Phil Pendleton spoke with people preparing for the process to begin.
The Mint here in Williamsburg in southern Kentucky is going to be one place where you're actually going to be able to place bets on sporting events in person. In fact, this building was designed with that possibility in mind when it was constructed a few years ago. However, right now there's only HHR machines, historical horse racing machines, in place. The Kentucky Horse Racing Commission is administering the regulations, and everyone from Keeneland, the Red Mile, Caesars Entertainment, and others in the horse racing industry are hoping that people can start placing bets on sporting events possibly as early as this fall, around the time football season starts. Caesars is partnering with Keeneland and the Red Mile for a brick-and-mortar facility at the harness racing track. The Red Mile also has HHR machines similar to those at the Mint in Williamsburg.
It adds gaming to the state. It actually puts us as a competitive advantage to our local commonwealths around us. You know, Kentucky will now be able to compete with whether it's Tennessee or other states on sports wagering.
And to have a model racetrack, we need fans, and we are really fortunate in Lexington because our community embraces us. People love April and October because it means it's time to come out to watch the races at Keeneland. And the more eyes that we can get on our sport, the better for us.
And as with the historical horse racing, you're going to have to be 21 years old to place bets on sporting events. In Williamsburg and Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Another facility in southern Kentucky that may also have sports wagering and historical horse racing machines is a new track that is under construction in Corbin. Today, leaders across the region gathered in Harlan to discuss health care. Harlan ARH officials hosted the event to talk about what they are seeing in their community. Joe Horton is the Harlan ARH CEO and says the goal was to just bring community members together.
We just wanted to bring stakeholders in the community together to discuss the current state of healthcare, what the issues, challenges are, and develop partnerships and work on ways to engage and address those issues.
Horton says in order to make changes, conversations like these need to happen. Coming up at 6, he talks about what the next steps are.
Well, some filtered sunshine working through the region this afternoon as we watch a couple of rumblers pop up out there in the heat of the afternoon. Feels like a summer day out there. Kind of looks like one, too. Here's the view from London Corbin Airport. Upper 70s there right now, not far from 80 at the moment. And while many of us are dry, we're starting to see a few of those storms pop out there. One on top of Pikeville and further to the south into the south and eastern parts of Floyd County. One on top of Weeksbury a minute ago. That'll be moving up toward US 119 over the next little bit. A couple of more showers trying to get going further to the south. As a matter of fact, let's look at these over portions of southern Knox County. They're heavy. There's some brief heavy rain, not even much thunder and lightning with those as those head toward 25E over the next little bit. Your forecast first through the next 12 hours, we'll have those possibility for showers and a couple of thunderstorms work through as we head through the evening hours, falling through the 70s, eventually into the upper 50s, but clouds increase, as do rain chances again as we head toward tomorrow. I'm breaking down those chances in a few minutes, Steve.
All right, Evan, thank you. In Florida, a local sheriff's office is adopting a new way to evaluate major storms. It is a lesson from Hurricane Ian last summer. Annette Montgomery takes a look.
As Hurricane Ian pounded into us, the number of people pounding 911 soared.
Category 5 storm, 150-mile-an-hour winds, 13-plus foot storm surge, and we saw in the region a 3,000% spike in 911 traffic.
Michael Martin, the CEO of Rapid SOS, told me even the best emergency response systems in the world can't handle that kind of crash. That's where his software comes in.
We can actually still digitally transmit the location, name, contact information, health profile, even things like video feeds directly into the hands of 911 and first responders, even if that legacy infrastructure were to fail.
Rapid SOS is an intelligent safety platform that links over 500 million devices, apps, and sensors to various first responders and agencies. Agencies like the Collier County Sheriff's Office.
If you combine the incoming 911 request with the ability to geolocate, that enables us to respond much more quickly, much more efficiently than we've ever been able to before.
And Sheriff Kevin Rambosk told me his office will use the data collected from Ian to prepare for the next hurricane.
We'll be flexible enough to put more people in different parts of the community, do all that based on what we saw in the last time, using the data points that we now have on a heat map that we can look at.
And the sheriff said Rapid SOS will also help his team prepare for situations that are unpredictable, like school shootings. Annette Montgomery, Wink News.
Emergency managers in Southwest Florida are estimating that 160 people died during the period when Hurricane Ian was affecting Southwest Florida. TickTock has been banned in one more place here in the United States. Montana has become the first state to entirely ban TickTock. TickTock has more than 150 million American users, but the company has been under fire from Congress since March. There is debate over whether or not the Chinese Communist Party could access information about American users through the app. The United States government has already banned the app from federal devices.
TickTock is a national security threat. This app steals information and data from users, and its ability to share that data with the Chinese Communist Party is unacceptable and infringes on Montana's rights to privacy.
TickTok's parent company ByteDance says the bill infringes on the First Amendment rights of the people of Montana. It is college graduation season and new grads are entering the workforce. Many now need to devise a plan to pay off student debt while also considering their health care and retirement investment options. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger has some tips.
If you have a student loan or any other debt, create a list of each loan, include monthly payment amounts and the interest rate. Focus on the highest interest loans and then systematically work your way down to the lower interest ones. For parents, if you can afford to help the kids without jeopardizing your own financial security, that's fine. But no borrowing against the house or the 401k. If your first job offers health care, consider a high deductible plan to keep costs down. If not, remember, parents can keep children on their own health insurance plans until age 26. Finally, while the cash flow might be tight for new grads with a brand new job, if it includes a retirement plan, try to contribute to it at least up to the company's match if one exists. Review the investment options within the plan and opt for lower cost index funds if they're available. If there's no plan through your employer, open a Roth IRA at any of the major low-cost firms. In New York, I'm CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Staff at a library in California now have an incredible story to tell, and they are sharing that story with everyone. Last week, a man returned a book to the library in the town of St. Helena. The book was due in February 1927. The book gives a full account of the National Centennial Celebration of 1876. Juliet Goodrich has that story.
I'm afraid to touch it, but I can show it to you. Let's see. Oops, it's falling apart, so it doesn't have a spine anymore.
This library book is in bad shape, but can you blame it? It's seen a lot over the last 141 years.
One of my staff members brought it, came up and said, oh, somebody had returned that book. And they thought it was really cool. It was a really old book, and we didn't realize quite how old it was. It's falling apart.
Falling apart and past due to the St. Helena Library by 96 years.
All of us are just, wondering where the book could have been for so long, from checked out in 1927. And actually, none of us have seen a library book that was checked out in 1892 or anything else. And to have it be from this library from that far back is really incredible.
In fact, the book is older than the library as we know it today. Published in 1892, it was one of the first books available back when the library was a subscription service. Think of it like the Netflix of its day, 25 cents a month to check out books. Had someone wanted to browse its pages, they would have done that here. This was the reading room in 1886. And this is what the library looked like in 1927 after it became public.
Almost 100 years since it was, we assume it was in the building. So we just would love to know where it's been.
The book's title, you ask? A History of the United States by Benson Lossing. A mystery man returned it last week with little explanation.
The gentleman just said that something about his father, but didn't catch anything else. He didn't give his name. It wasn't somebody that she recognized. Other staff have no idea who this gentleman is. So we'd love to find out more about the story.
The library hopes to add its own chapter to the story of this long missing book. But if the man who returned it is watching by chance, there is some good news on this past due bill, estimated at more than $1,700.
It would have been a lot, but I don't think that we would have charged that much at any point.
Yes, luckily for the man who returned the book, the library no longer charges late fees. Coming up on First at 4, new home sales numbers are in from the National Association of Realtors.